Hello, greetings. My name is Yana Valenciana, and today we're going to be doing yet another reaction video. As you can recall, the last video that we reacted to was called The Stages of a Disaster, where we learned that there are 7 stages and what each stage implied, and how we as counselors can, what we can expect in this type of stages. Today, we're going to be talking about the needs and challenges of disaster. That is the name of the video that we're going to be reacting to. You could consider it to be a second part to the first video that we reacted to, because it's the same 2 ladies talking about disaster and basically informing us about what happens in this type of settings. The only difference is that today we're only going to be focusing on 3 stages. We will be talking about the honeymoon phase, the heroic phase, and the disillusionment phase, and what are the needs and challenges of each one of these phases. It is important to note that these videos are for my crisis response and trauma care, and we will be answering 3 types of questions, and at the end I will be providing you with my references and where to find the references. Just in case some of the information caught your attention or you want to learn a little bit more, well, you know where to go to find this type of information. Therefore, let's begin. The first question that was provided was, what are the needs and challenges of the heroic phase? So the heroic phase is where everybody's going to help. We're seeing this disaster on social media, we're seeing it on media, we're seeing it on the news, we're seeing it everywhere. So people all over the place are willing to help. They're providing food, they're providing volunteers, and even the people who have been through the disaster themselves are willing to lend a hand. The challenges that the counselors or that the lady in the video is seeing, and that is more commonly seen, is that people are working 7 days to 12, ranging from 12 to 14 hours a day. That's a lot. They're working non-stop, and although the necessity is big, they're putting great amounts of workload on their shoulders. Therefore, people are living in this denial stage, where it kind of helps them grieve. It's like a grieving mechanism, but at the same time, it's making them not be realistic about the situation. They're thinking that the situation is going to last maybe a couple of days, that it's going to be resolved super quickly, but in reality, it could last up to months, and the situation will still need more help. And since the people are overworking themselves, they're not having the energy to last all those months helping. They're forgetting completely about their self-care. And Miller, in his book, he mentions exactly that as counselors who are going to disaster settings, it is important to know that yes, a lot of people are needing counseling. Yes, a lot of people are having necessity, but we have to be aware that we're only humans, and we could only manage a certain amount of people, a certain amount of time. We are not God, and we can't be like, yes, I'm going to be helping everyone, and everybody is like, no. The workload can be divided. There are other counselors, and the same thing applies to the volunteers. There's other volunteers, there's other counselors, there's other firefighters, there's other first aid responders. There's not meaning this in a way of like taking away the responsibility, but no, like there's only so much we could do. So it's important to note that you have to sleep at least 8 hours a day. Your food, you can't be skipping meals. Your meditation, your time with God, those are things that are going to keep you, not your only physical body taken care of, but also your spiritual and your mind taken care of. The third question is, the honeymoon phase can include a crash point. Describe who, when, and why this may occur. So the honeymoon phase is where everybody feels, it's like a brief moment of optimism. Everybody feels that everything's going to get better, that they're going to get out of it, that people are helping them out, that they're surviving, that they're in the best moment, at least from that disaster, right? But the thing is, going back to what I was telling you last time, people are being overworked. And since they're being overworked, when they feel that type of pressure, I guess, or that pain, they come back to reality. And I think that's when the crash point happens. They go back to reality. It's like, no, like this is not going to get fixed anytime soon. Like there's still so much more help that needs to be done, and I'm not being able to provide all of that help that is needed. And this is when they have that crash point. The ladies mentioned that people are having heart attacks even there, that yes, a lot of people die during the disaster, but after the disaster there's also people who are dying. Like their physical state is bad, especially with the older people, with the elderly people. They're having heart attacks, you're going to the hospitals, and this is when the crash point happens. And the last question is, during the disillusionment phase, fear, anger, and hopelessness can set in. What types of clinical conditions may develop from these circumstances, and what type of treatment is best to overcome them? So the disillusionment phase is basically what I just told you, right? You go from, yes, everything's going to be solved, everything's going to get fixed, to like, wait, no, it really isn't. There's a big need, and I can't fulfill that need. And some of the clinical conditions that have and may develop after from these circumstances, one of them, and the most common one, is suicide. A lot of people at this phase are willing and are thinking of committing suicide. So, and I think this is due to like the roller coaster, right? Like they go from, no, like everything's gonna be bad, to yes, everything could be fine, and then like, no, it's not. So I think at that point is where they lose all hopes and all dreams just go out the window, and they're like, no, this is not gonna get better. So suicide attempts go high. Suicide ideation also is very common. But other things that can happen too is post-traumatic stress. Their maladaptive coping skills can lead them to addictions like either alcohol, drugs. Childhood trauma could also come back and affect them in negative ways. So since it wasn't treated and they're going through another hard and stressful situation, the trauma from childhood can carry on. Domestic violence is something that is also very common, and something that intrigued me about the video is that one of the ladies mentioned that this can be more often seen in fishing communities. Fishermen are more known to hurt their wives or their families due to the stress. So I think it's also because they don't know how to handle it. So full families are trying to survive, and some of them can't survive all of the stress that they're going through. And well, I already mentioned suicide, but more common is the addictions due to maladaptive coping skills. The treatments, and one of the ladies, what she mentioned, something that caught my attention, is that she said that at this stage is where the church is really, really needed, and the church could actually make big impacts in the community. This is because if the church has helped the people during the disaster and have provided basic needs, like food, like maybe helping rebuild houses, stuff like that, now they have earned the ability, they have earned the ability to be like, okay, let me talk to you about the God I believe, and the God that has sent me here to help you out. And it actually wasn't me, but it was God, like, taking me to have compassion for you, because that's the type of God that I serve. And people will be more open to it because they have seen that you have helped out. And this is very, very important, because I guess as a church, we just want to go in there and be like, no, like, let me talk to you about my God or whatever, but we're not really attending the necessity of the people. And when we attend the necessity of the people, we have earned that right to also tell them, okay, we fulfilled your physical necessity, now let us tell you about someone who could fulfill your spiritual necessity. The ladies have also mentioned that things like they have gone into the school system to debrief about the disaster, that they've made small groups, that they made sermons to kind of provide hope to the community once again. They're also providing training to be prepared for when another disaster hits. Being prepared, right? So when another disaster hits, the church could also provide activities that can make them laugh, make the community laugh, activities, outreach, and something that to provide unity, due to the fact that the community now feels alone, right? So providing unity could also be something that could help the community get better. And the references that I got for this video will be provided down below in the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something new from it. Thank you.